It has no armor, no engine, and by the modern logic of war, it shouldn't even be relevant anymore in an environment where every movement is watched by drones. The M777 Howitzer, a gun built for one war that ended up in a completely different one. And today, we visited the first separate assault regiment, which has just received these howitzers.
If it weren't for you guys, we'd be completely screwed.
I am the Chief of Staff of Artillery Battalion in the 1st Separate Assault Regiment. And this is our M777 Howitzer.
How has it been performing in its 4th year of service with the Ukrainian Armed Forces? And isn't it time to send it to the scrap heap of history?
Obviously, as you can see, it's not new. We are not the first operators of this howitzer.
Until recently, this was one of the most fearsome weapons on the battlefield. But the way and conditions it was used in were completely different. And then the M777 left its natural element and stepped into a new reality. The NATO concept of using tube artillery turned out to be completely unviable in a 21st century land war.
It was designed for Afghanistan and for the war in Iraq, but in combat we mostly use it our own way. We figure out a lot of things ourselves.
But let's step away from theoretical questions and get onto the battlefield. Here, every shot is a risk. The moment a gun opens fire, everyone starts looking for it. Drones, counter-battery cameras, artillery. Sometimes you have minutes, sometimes seconds. In conditions like that, a towed gun is a target, but the M777 doesn't become one, because it's not just about the gun itself. Its real strength is in how it's used. This isn't just artillery. It's a new system where every element works as a single unit.
Everyone knows their job. The main thing is for the loader to get the shell there in time, screw on the fuse, have the propellant ready, and for the gunner to correctly receive the fire mission settings and lay the gun. That's the whole job.
And it works. We watch the gunner dial in the settings on the sight, the shell and propellant going into the tray, the shot going out. But that's just the tip of the iceberg. For that shot to happen in the 4th year of active Ukrainian use of the M777, a lot of factors have to come together. And for us to keep releasing new videos, all we need is your likes. Let's start with the gun itself. Passing between Ukrainian units over these 4 years, its service life has been pushed to the absolute limit.
It came to us on its last legs, and now the howitzer is in transport position, ready to go to a repair plant.
Often, the guns handed to the Ukrainians have been used at 2 or even 3 times the service life declared by the manufacturer. In conditions like that, Ukrainians build Frankensteins out of the units whose parts can still be salvaged. But if you know what you're doing, and you send the gun to real specialists, of which Ukraine now has no shortage, it comes back ready to roll out to a firing position. And that's where the next problem starts. Movement to position.
But we have a few issues with the 3-axis. First of all, it's really old and need to be repaired very often. Secondly, it's logistics. In the modern war, in the modern Russo-Ukrainian war, logistics is really a tough call because drones hitting soldiers who use this howitzer, and for us it's a big problem for now.
No matter how experienced your crew is, getting to position with a gun like this is largely a lottery. And beyond the threat of being spotted, you also can't forget about delivering everything you need.
The hardest part of being an artilleryman is moving from position to position. Redeployment is a nightmare, because you immediately have to dig in, carry everything with you. Relatively speaking, there's a lot of gear, plus you're taking your ammunition load with you too, and sometimes you have to do it very fast.
And finally, once we've actually made it to position, it's time to deal with the purely technical side of operating the gun.
Here you can see the shell. We should operate it manually. It's very heavy.
No automation, just people, steel, and constant physical punishment. By the way, specifically for artillerymen, some units are now actively testing exoskeletons that help manage the extreme physical load. Speaking of technology, we came across yet another alarming fact. We know how advanced the latest M777 modifications are. They're not the ones making it to the firing positions. Why? Did someone decide to steal the computer out of the gun? Or find some other use for it? The truth is, on many of these guns, the electronics and fire control systems are deliberately removed.
When Ukraine received these M777 howitzers, specifically the A1 modification, they had batteries installed along with tablets and GPS sensors. Under the gun, under the cylinders, there was a compartment with batteries that powered the tablets. Those tablets were positioned at each of the two gunner stations, but over time the enemy started pinpointing gun positions specifically through those tablets and sensors. That's when the guys realized it was better to disconnect them. This particular gun came to us with all that equipment already removed. In other words, it's more effective to work the old-fashioned way.
It looks like a step backward, but in reality it's evolution under pressure. War forces you to choose not the most advanced solution, but the one that keeps you alive. And that's exactly why the M777 keeps staying in service, and all that manual work demands focus and skill, even in something as seemingly archaic as ramming a shell into the breech.
The shell rammer is a curved rod. We keep ours right at the loading position. It's called exactly that, a rammer. It's a standard issue tool. It's specifically made curved because when the gun's elevation angle is high, around 800 mils, it's easier to work with. The shell is picked up, placed in the tray, then carefully fed in and rammed into the barrel.
So the shell is in the barrel, everything is laid on target, and now it's time for the gun to show its best side.
And all of this weight will fall to the Russians' heads.
Accuracy is what compensates for its weaknesses.
But now we have a few more of these 777 howitzers, and all of them are already in position, and we are very happy to have them because they're very precise.
It was extraordinarily accurate from the very first days it arrived with the Ukrainian armed forces. These artillery systems consistently demonstrate high effectiveness at around 80%, and it stays that way after 4 years of hard use.
The brigade that was standing with the infantry told us, if it weren't for you guys, we'd be completely screwed.
And that's the truth, because even in a drone war, artillery remains the first tool of response and the only one capable of stopping an enemy assault group pushing toward infantry positions.
If it's already well dug in and zeroed, the margin of error comes down to 3 meters, about 10 feet, and sometimes it hits exactly where it needs to.
In this war, accuracy means speed of destruction. Fewer shots, less time for the enemy to detect you. And that's exactly what gives the crew a chance to survive after opening fire. Every accurate shot isn't just a destroyed target, it's time saved. And that time decides whether there will be a next shot at all. Because, as already mentioned, this gun, precisely because of its effectiveness, is the most wanted target for the Russians to destroy.
We enter the angle to understand how high to raise the barrel. We have a bubble meter that we use to set the level, and we have an angle meter to set the angle. And through the sight, we aim at the collimator and rotate the gun accordingly.
Another key advantage of the M777 is ammunition versatility. It works with a wide range of 155mm rounds, from classic high-explosive fragmentation to smoke, illumination, and precision-guided munitions. That means one and the same gun can handle completely different missions, from engaging personnel to adjusting the battle or covering a maneuver. But versatility has a flip side. The wider the range of tasks a gun performs, the more often it fires, and the more often it becomes a target for the enemy. In reality, that means one thing. The M777 is constantly in the game, and therefore constantly under threat, and the numbers back that up. According to data from the Oryx Monitoring Group, at least 97 M777 artillery systems have been confirmed lost in Ukraine. Of that number, around 54 howitzers were destroyed, and 43 were damaged. That's a massive percentage of all the howitzers received. You could say only a small fraction of the guns transferred to Ukraine have escaped counter-battery fire altogether.
Прийом, чую небо.
The intensity of operations and enemy drone strikes also takes its toll. An already delicate gun needs even more careful maintenance.
Because it's quite fragile. It needs constant servicing, cleaning, checking. We're constantly improving it with our own solutions, thinking about what and how can be improved to work with it more effectively.
Built for a different climate, the M777 suffers particularly hard from the Ukrainian winter. Cold, moisture, mud, and constant temperature swings only accelerate wear and make the crew's job harder. At some point, it becomes obvious. This gun is holding together not because of the conditions, but in spite of them. But that's exactly where its main strength lies. Just like all of Ukraine's armed forces, Overall, it's too early to write this gun off, even in modern warfare. Yes, the M777 is not a perfect system. It's not new. It needs repairs. But in this war, it got a second life. Because sometimes what decides things isn't how modern your weapon is, but how well you adapt it to new conditions. And the M777 is the definition of old, but gold.
Don't forget to subscribe to the Weapons of Victory channel and hope to see you soon.
We are very grateful to our advisor Zenik and the 1st Separate Assault Regiment for their hard work and for defending Ukraine. If you'd like to support them, you'll find a link in the video description. Stay safe and support Ukraine.